Hi everyone, I'm Mike Green, Allen County Public Information Officer, and welcome to this edition of CountyLine. Well, before you know it, the November general election featuring the race for U.S. President, Indiana Governor, and other local offices will be upon us. And many people are worried about voting safety during the pandemic. Public health leaders agree that voting by mail is the safest method for minimizing the risk of COVID-19 infection, but it may not be feasible for all voters to use mail-in ballots. Although many people are concerned about the safety of in-person voting during the COVID-19 pandemic, risks can be minimized with the proper precautions. The Allen County Election Board has been working to balance the right for citizens to vote along with the importance to maintain their health and safety in doing so. One of the first steps taken was to locate its headquarters from the Russo Center to here at the Memorial Coliseum. We spoke with Election Board Director Beth Lugg about the steps being taken to help you stay safe while voting in the polls in November. Okay, Beth, tell us a little bit about why the Election Board decided to come out here to the Coliseum during this election and what you're able to do here that maybe you weren't able to do out at the Russo Center.
Well, we realized during the primary when we and the pandemic together that we just didn't have the space in order to process the amount of mailed ballots that we thought we were going to get. So we decided, and we're lucky enough to work with the commissioners who were able to work with Randy Brown at the Memorial Coliseum and find some space for us out here. This is 44,000 square feet of space where we're able to take all of the people that we need, and we have more than 20 teams of people at times helping us prepare these mail ballots. So it gives us the social distancing we need, 6 feet apart for all these people, and that just the volume of people to handle the volume of work we've got going right now.
And this is just the area where your staff is working in. Next door is where people will actually be voting if they come here to the Coliseum to vote.
Right, it's a one-stop shop for us, which is really exciting. Not only do we have space for all of our staff and all the work that we're doing administratively here, but we also are going to have our training here and also voting for early voting.
Well, first let's talk about some of the alternatives to actually going out on election day and voting. And that involves obviously mail-in ballots, absentee ballots. Talk us through how that works.
Well, the mailed absentee ballots, we've been taking applications since July, and we had our first push on September the 18th, and we sent out over 18,000 ballots. So that was pretty amazing, record-breaking, and we're breaking records almost every day with over 1,000 ballots going out every day since then. But the process is that someone would send us an application for an absentee ballot. Once we approve the application, then we prepare the ballot, we mail it out to them. They would vote in their house and their home and put it back in the mail to get delivered back to us, or they can hand deliver it to us here at the Coliseum. But we have to have all those ballots back by noon on Election Day, November the 3rd.
And what's the deadline for getting the application to you?
October the 22nd is the last day that we can accept an application.
Okay. So, and is there really a difference between, say, what's called early voting by mail and an absentee ballot?
Well, absentee is the phrase that Indiana uses to mean that you're absentee from the voting location on Election Day. So you can't you can't be at your voting location on November the 3rd. So that means you're going to be absent, and you can either vote by mail absentee or you can vote in person absentee. But we kind of commonly call it early voting. Right. If you're voting absentee in person here. And
you will be able to early vote in person at several locations in the county.
Right. We start on October 6th here at the Coliseum only. So we'll be doing that from October the 6th until the 24th of October.
Okay.
And then on the 26th of October, we'll open up 4 more locations beside the Coliseum. And those locations are Indiana Wesleyan, the Public Safety Academy, Solomon Farm Park, and the Rousseau Center is going to be a satellite, which is normally our location where our month-long voting goes on, but they're going to be a satellite this year just for the week. October 26th through the 30th will be open from 8 a.m. in the morning till 8 p.m. at night at all 5 locations. And then that last Saturday, the 31st, Halloween, will be open from 8 to 5 at all 5 locations.
For various reasons, people will not use the mail-in voting process, and they don't want to do the early voting process. They want to come in on the election day. It's either a habit or for, like I say, for various reasons, they want to do that.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about that process. First of all, you will have CDC guidelines in place at the polling places.
That's right, and that's for early voting too. So anybody that votes in person is going to see these guidelines. First of all, we'll have indicators on the floor about, you know, keeping 6 foot apart. So that's one of our first things. We're focusing on social distancing, sanitation, and the sharing of equipment. What is the most safe way to share equipment? So as a voter walks in, they'll notice that we have the markers on the floor. When they get up to the clerk's station to check in, the clerk will have a mask on. They'll also be protected by a plexiglass barrier. They will be asked to sign the poll book, but I've got some of my props here.
Okay.
They're going to be asked to put on a one-use disposable glove, and they can use this to sign the poll pad, and then they can also take this to go back to the voting machine and vote on the voting machine with this. And then as they walk out, they can dispose of the glove, and we'll have sanitation stations at both the entrance and the exit to the polling location.
Will masks be required of the voters?
Masks are not absolutely required of the voters, but we do ask that they please wear a mask. All of our poll workers will have masks on. Some will have face shields as well.
Now, will you have masks available for the public at the voting stations, or do they need to make sure and bring their own?
Make sure and bring your own mask.
Okay.
Yes.
Also, clean hands would be nice.
Right, yes. And that's why we're providing the sanitation stations. And one thing we'll talk about on the voting machine is do not sanitize that voting machine yourself. Our poll workers have these special wipes that they will use to sanitize the stations. And so we're hoping that this one-use glove will be the sanitation that the voter wants, you know, or needs during that time.
And you don't want them trying to clean the machine afterward, because components in the machine can be damaged or hampered by some of the contents in the cleaning.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
The biggest thing probably that folks can do, we talk about what you do as you're there at the voting location, but the biggest help they can be is to be prepared before they go on election day.
Absolutely. You want to minimize your time in the polling location as much as possible. So, you know, you can look at a sample ballot ahead of time. Make sure that you know what's on your ballot and have your choices already made, so that when you come in and you're behind the machine, you can go ahead and make those choices and then leave as quickly as possible.
And also check for where you're going to be voting, because I would guess you've probably had to change a few locations because of the coronavirus pandemic.
Right. We actually had to change quite a few locations. Normally we had 116 locations. That's what we planned on at the beginning of this year, but we're down to 70 of those 116 locations. All of them are very, very large locations. And we expect that a lot of people are going to be assigned to a new location that they're not familiar with. So right now, people can check their polling location that they're assigned to, but we would also encourage people to check even the day of. Go to our website and check that polling location, because it is still possible that we may lose a polling location for something that's outside of our control.
And you mentioned your website, and that's a place to go to find out just about anything you need to know about election day.
Right.
Tell people where that is and what they can find out.
Sure, it's AllenCountyVoters.info, and you can find applications for mailed ballots and information about how to. There's videos out there on how to vote on a machine, how to process your mailed ballot. There's links for information on election security. There are links on polling locations and your sample ballots. All of those things are available on our website.
But if there's still a question that's unanswered there, they can call you folks.
That's right. They can call us at our main number, which is 260-449-7329.
So remember, if you have any questions or need more information about the voting process, for the November general election, make sure and check out the Election Board website. You can get there by going to our county homepage. That's allencounty.us. I'm Mike Green, Allen County Public Information Officer from the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum. Thanks for watching. We hope you'll join us again next time on County Line.
The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily represent those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting group. If you or anyone you know might be interested in making a television show, please call 260-421-1250. Access Fort Wayne is a department of the Allen County Public Library.